Welcome back, Washington fans. What a game it was. What a game it was in Uptown Federal tonight, where we saw our Washington Commanders come back in amazing fashion and defeat them Dirty Bird Eagles with a final score of 36-33. We got a lot to talk about on this one, and Reedie Zee starts right now. The Washington Commanders shocked the world, the football world, by defeating the Philadelphia Eagles 36-33. The 10-game win streak for the Eagles is over. What it was feeling like in Uptown Federal, Z?
My bad. I was muted. Let me get that right back. It felt like a dub. Man. Electric. It was fucking cold. That's what it felt like. Toes was freezing.
Cold.
We had on layers and thick coats. And it was still cold. Ice cold, but it was well worth it. A hell of a game. So excited. And before the game yesterday over the weekend, I kept saying, like, I can feel it in the air. I just feel like we might can pull this out. And we created that thought, that theme over the weekend, and we put it on the post, and that's what we rocked out to. And I mean, it was a dub. Reedie was right. I mean, them people were definitely beatable. I was scared. I was a little nervous. I ain't gonna act like I wasn't. Saquon, he definitely did his thing early on, but I mean, we prevailed. We stuck in there. And we're going to get right into it, man. I love it. What we got, though? How we going to go? What we starting with, bro?
Man, we're starting with not being able to stop the run. Saquon Barkley goes for 29 rushes for 150 yards. He had 109 yards in the first quarter. Absolutely unacceptable. But I like what the defense did moving forward, limiting his yardage. And down the stretch, he finished with 150 yards on the 29 carries with the 2 touchdowns. But that first quarter was abysmal.
Yeah, definitely was. They kind of got out on us early. 14 points. Saquon had the first touchdown. AJ Brown got the second one. Then we scored. And then they came down and he housed a 68-yarder. You know what I mean? It was just giving me a reminder of, like, damn, man, this is gonna be another game. We can't stop the run, and if we can't stop this run, it's gonna hurt us big. But you know what I mean, our team stuck in there, and they hung in there and fought all the way to the end. And you know what I mean, our biggest defense today was the offense being able to score and match Philly and stand in the game to allow the defense to kind of, continue to wear that team down, but also giving the defense a chance. You know what I mean? They wasn't able to just run the ball all over us in the second half. We made the proper adjustments, and shout out to Joe Witt for that. He even did a little joint at the end on the I don't know if you've seen it, Reedie, in the locker room. He was purping through the pinky ring on the on the lip. So shout out to Joe Witt for that.
I haven't been on social media. Just was hectic trying to get home.
Yeah.
Trying to warm up, trying to get prepared for this recap, but definitely a great game. Early on in the game, I'm sitting in my seat. I'm a little worried, like you said. I'm just like, oh my God, what are we doing? Where is this going? But I think the thing that changed this game was the tackle on Jalen Hurts by Frankie Louvu. That tackle that sent Hurts out with the concussion. That kind of, to me, was the turning point for us. And Absolutely. When that happened, I don't pray for injuries on nobody. You're concerned with concussions, but that told me that we had a better chance because it was looking like Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts were going to run away with this thing the way it started out.
Yeah, Hurts actually was getting chunk runs starting out. A lot of times when we was getting pressure, and he was just step up right in the pocket and just take off and run. He did that about like 3 times on like the first 2 drives, and he was eating us up, getting first downs after first downs. So, when that did happen, it did, it was an adjustment. Kenny Pickett actually came in and surprised me, though. He came in and first play he went to Brown, I think, on that drive. He, he connected on the touchdown with Brown. And he was just, he didn't really come in and slowed up their pace like I thought he would. He definitely offered a different element than Hurts. But he definitely did his thing, but our defense was able to stick in there, and like we said, the offense they showed up. Jayden Daniels, he had 258 passing yards, completing 24-39, 5 touchdowns, 5 passing touchdowns, with 81 yards rushing on 9 carries. And the big thing about Jayden today, with the touchdowns, early on, the first touchdown was that to who caught the first touchdown?
Jamison Crowder.
Crowder, correct. The first touchdown was to Crowder. Then we came in and he got Terry on the second touchdown with a beautiful, bomb in the bucket. And then later on, he connected with Zacchaeus on 2 straight touchdowns, and then Crowder again. Definitely was excited for my man Crowder. I talked about before this game. I even told my wife, Crowder is the X factor today. I've been shouting for Crowder to be in the mix offensively. And I was telling Reedie, he's just not going to be a returner. He's going to come in and he's going to make plays. And that he did today. So shout out to Mr. Crowder on that, the ageless one. And Zacchaeus, a guy who's been taking a lot of heat from us on this show and across this whole, community, stepped up today. He did have a drop before the Crowder touchdown that was, I didn't like, something that I didn't want to see, but, he kept it going and he actually got them, 2 beautiful touchdowns and, kept us in the game. So, yeah, it was definitely overall great to see Jayden get those 5 tutties, but also rushing. Jayden had some key 3rd downs and 4th downs. That 4th and 11 had a 29-yarder, a pivotal, crucial point in the game to show that we were still in there and we were still fighting. And then, he had a couple of other 3rd downs and stuff early on where he was just breaking away and doing his thing. Our running game relied on Jayden today because, B-Rob was non-existent. And I'm going to let Reedie talk about B-Rob today because, yeah, I know he got something to say because we was both pissed.
Yeah, B-Rob, the 2 fumbles in the game, unacceptable. Without Jayden Daniels, we don't have a rushing attack. Jayden Daniels rushed for 9 carries for 81 yards. Other than that, B-Rob, you carried the ball 10 times for 24 yards. That's a 2.4 yard a carry average. That's unacceptable. And obviously, Chris Rodriguez and Jeremy McNichols, between the 2 of them, there was five additional carries in the game. So for a whopping total of 34 yards total between 3 running backs. If it wasn't for our quarterback, our rushing numbers wouldn't be what they are. But I thought that Cliff, called a better game going to the short passing game because with the lack of run, those little short, little dink and dunk passes or whatever, it was kind of like our runs in a sense, kind of, getting drives started and keeping drives moving. This game just felt like I don't know, like Groundhog Day, like it just was this over and over, like it was the same thing happening over and over and over again. It just was really slow. And down the stretch when we were able to come back and take the lead in the 4th quarter. But this is what they asked for. They were asking for a statement win. And this right here is a statement win for one of the better teams in this league right now going down the stretch. So we got what we asked for. We won 2 of the last 4 thus far. So we got 2 more to go. Up next, we have the Atlanta Falcons. But, B-Rob, I really don't know what to say about B-Rob. I'm just disgusted with, his performance. I thought he came back in the 4th quarter and them later drives and kind of contributed a little bit. But that first part of the game, I don't know what he was actually doing in the game. But yeah, like you said, it just was, just all Jayden Daniels, the 5 touchdowns, it wasn't pretty. It was a scrappy, it was a tough fought, hard fought game. Shout out to Philadelphia for coming in when their starting quarterback went down. They didn't give up. They didn't hang their head. They kept fighting with Kenny Pickett. And Pickett actually, looked good. He looked better than he looked when he was with Pittsburgh. I thought he played an outstanding game. But like you said, let's just talk about this Joe Witt led defense that just was kind of like, he kept sending them. He kept sending pressure. They were there. Marshawn Lattimore had a up and down game. I think he had like three or four pass interference calls, two of which I think shouldn't have been pass interferences. He kind of, AJ Brown kind of, he got his a little bit today, but definitely Marshawn Lattimore definitely rose to the occasion several times to cover him. So what are your thoughts on just defensively as far as in the secondary? How did you think St. Jude did when he came in the fourth quarter?
As far as the secondary, Marshawn, like you said, he definitely was aggressive, and he, like we predicted, he followed AJ pretty much early on. There was only one time where AJ kind of went in the slot and Marshawn stayed on the outside. So I was definitely excited to see that. Again, we talked about having that number one corner field, having a guy that's going to follow somebody, giving us that confidence. And I thought today, like you said, it was an up and down battle. Two, top guys just duking it out. And, a few times Marshawn got caught, with his hands in the jar, with the penalties. And, it is what it is. It happens. I don't think it was anything that was pretty costly. As far as the rest of the secondary, I think the rest of the secondary did pretty good. We only allowed 127 total passing yards for the game. Again, Hurts going down and Pickett coming in. Pickett definitely was, he was definitely taking shots. He had a shot to Brown that Brown ended up catching that Marshawn was late kind of getting his head around on. So, with that being said, it's definitely was good to see us not kind of give up many other big plays. That was kind of like the biggest play defensively in the air. But also, like, one of the biggest highlights as far as the defense is kind of holding Philly to 3 of 16 on third downs. That's huge. Usually, that number is much higher when we're playing teams, especially somebody like Philly, where they come in and they're converting on them third downs, them fourth downs, and we can't get off the field. Today, the defense got off the field and gave the offense many opportunities. And early on, the offense wasn't rewarding the defense with that, but they stuck in there. And then, in the second half, it was up from there. It's a reference to when St. Jude subbed in. And, we was both really standing there and we was just trying to figure out what the hell was going on with Marshawn. And I'm looking on this. I couldn't even find him on the sideline until you pointed him out. And then when I seen it, it looked like they was kind of, looking at his leg because he was just standing there, doctors around him, kind of, messing with his hamstring. So after that, he went under the tent. So, it's said that he aggravated his hamstring again. I'm not sure to what severity, but that was the reason that he exited the game. And when St. Jude came in, the first couple of plays he did okay. There was a sideline pass to Brown that he made a play on, and he was right there, and it was ended up being kind of like an overthrow, and it was a good thing. But then, what was that, third or fourth down, when Brown caught that little out route, and then he kind of cut back and went back upfield. St. Jude comes sliding across the damn screen. So it's like, and he gave up, a pivotal first down. So it was one of the moments I'm like, why the fuck is he still in the game and stuff like that? But I think for the, quick little 5 plays on defense, he had like one bad play. But also, at the end of the game, it was St. Jude who recovered the fumble to end the game. So, he definitely contributed on special teams. He made a couple of key tackles. It's just, that that cornerback, especially against AJ Brown, he ain't there, man. He ain't there.
But I think he made a key play on that AJ Brown slant, because if he doesn't make that tackle, AJ Brown might still be running to the back of the end zone. So that was a good tackle that he made in the open field on AJ Brown when he got beat on that slant route. But overall, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to give a shout out to Luke McCaffrey. I thought Luke McCaffrey gave us a spark in the kick return game. He was doing his thing. Like, I don't think he has that speed to like maybe break one, but if it's blocked up, he can get you past the 50, which he showed today. But as we spoke on before, B-Rob came through with the fumble on the next
right after that.
Right after
and
that.
even Luke, but like just more specifically for y'all don't know, Luke had 184 kick return yards and he averaged 30 yards per return. That was something big, and that's what I was gonna mention. Like, he's one of the heroes of the game that it'd be silent. People probably wouldn't even really realize it, but with all the scoring that went on today and all the kickoffs and kick returns we had, he was definitely getting us in some good field position. So shout out to Luke. I'm glad we found our kick returner, and pretty soon he's probably going to break one. Because today he was hooping today.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he even got in the offense and caught a little quick little pass and got that first down. Yeah, we needed that one.
10-yard pass. And we were just saying, and everybody was just saying, like, Luke McCaffrey has to show up. Why is he continuously every week in and week out not being targeted? But when we look at the tape, he's running wide open. Why isn't Jayden Daniels targeting him? And he got targeted today, and he contributed to the game in the return game. But let's talk about our wide receiver one, man, Terry McLaurin, man, tying the record for the Commanders in touchdowns. He's one away from breaking the record. He also went over 1,000 yards for the 5th consecutive season. Let's talk about your man Terry and like what he brings to this team, as it relates to just from a leadership standpoint, from just a dog mentality. Like, and I'm on the record. I said I was wrong about Terry. I think this year Terry he's just showing us everything that he has, that grit, that determination, and he was just turned up. When I watched the rewatch a little while ago, like Terry was like turned up. Like he was just like DQ said, I go to war with him any day. Like Terry is just a different animal at the wide receiver position. But talk about Terry.
Yeah, for sure. Terry definitely came in and played big. He ended up with 5 catches for 60 yards and having a tutty. Beautiful, like we talked about earlier when we first started the show, beautiful bomb from Jayden to Terry over the shoulder, right in the bucket, running by himself. Beautiful route. Everything about that play was just pretty, and it kept us in the game. That was our second score at that point. That was right after, Saquon on the 68-yarder. So that was that drive after that. So it definitely lit some fire up under us and kept things going. But also, like you said, with Terry being one of the leaders and everybody seeing him, what he's bringing game in and game out, just that mentality, the attitude, the grit, like you said. And also, he talked about with Dan Quinn, he's saying the same thing about Dan. Like, he'd go to war with Dan any day. Like, these coaches really care and are really helping these guys, and they're building a culture. That's something that Terry hasn't seen in all of his years here. And also, even Terry just was saying today, just giving glory to God that he's able to live out his dream. Every time you hear Terry speak this year, it's definitely, you can see the passion, you can see the uplift of all the years of the bad quarterback play, just the bad culture. All the negativity surrounded with this team, and he was the one shining piece of everything we had. And for him to be here with the new regime and having a breakout year is just it's beautiful to see.
Yeah, and earlier today, coming into the stadium, I got a text from you when they came out with the inactives, and you were saying, why is KJ Osborne not active? But like I said, this is exactly what I said to Z. I said, fuck him. Let's go with who we got. And we've seen Alameda Zaccheaus with 5 receptions, 70 yards, 2 touchdowns. De'Ami Brown, 4 receptions with the bomb that was the 51-yarder. We've seen Jamison Crowder come in and put up another 2 touchdowns. So, you know what I'm saying, by committee, all of these unsung heroes that nobody would have thought that we had, nobody would have thought or expected to make plays in this game made plays. Like, speak on that. Like, what do you think, about these players, and how can that help us in the future?
I mean, I definitely think that when they're all having fun and flying around and being energetic and doing their part, we can be fine. It kind of, you know what I mean, and with Jayden turning up the way he turn up, it can hide the inefficiencies of, what I mean, the team. Early on in that that 9 game, over the first 9 games, as we always go back to, you know, guys were doing their job and getting in the mix. It wasn't one person standing out and shining. I mean, outside of Terry, there was no one person standing out and shining. Everybody was doing their part. And just, Diami have a play here. The kids have a couple of plays there. And, Zach might get a play. And, Crowder wasn't around at that time. He was on the injury reserve. But, with him being back in the mix now, it just adds that another piece. Another part of a piece of versatility that, gets you a guy in there that's going to run sure routes. He has sure hands. And, he's going to make plays. So, I think that it's fun to see, and I think moving forward, especially over these next couple of games and even into the playoffs, if guys continue to play like this, we will be fine. It's just that when we get in those tough moments and we don't fight back, and the talent is not, you can't, when you're in a slump and you don't have that, that extra oomph and the talent to kind of pull you through some situations, we end up falling. But today, I think that guys just doing their jobs and guys just going hard trump talent today, and it just showed that they was able to still make plays, even though it's not, the most talented group out there. So I like what I saw today, and I hope moving forward they can continue to play this way.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's talk about the defense. Dante Fowler Jr. coming through with another sack. Bobby Wagner, pitching in with 9 tackles. Carl Davis, Shelton Day, all of these guys that we're sitting around looking like, well, why are they playing? Can you hear me?
I can hear you well. I just ain't hear you say a specific name.
What specific name is that?
What name did you not name?
I haven't got to it yet.
Oh, why? Go ahead. Stop playing with my man.
Who's your man?
DeRon Payne.
I mean, I was gonna get the Payne. Yeah,
Payne
had
3 tackles.
Payne had 3 tackles. I mean, I expect a little bit more from Payne. I mean,
my God.
Payne was killing. Payne was definitely killing.
Payne was one of the key parts of the whole being able to shut down Saquon in the second half. Payne was there, chasing him down. He was right there. Payne made plays today. And my man put on his story, like, y'all always talking about me. I don't give a fuck.
And when he
put
said
that in his story, he's put in his story.
Today?
Yes, tonight. Yeah. Like, y'all always got my name in your mouth. That's what he was talking about.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
pop
like pop your shit, Payne. My man dog today. And give my man his props. That's what I'm saying.
Hey, shout out Payne. Shout out Jayden Holmes, Dorrance Armstrong. Just a team effort across the board, from the secondary to the linebackers to the defensive line to the reserve players. Just a hard fought game, man. Like we had to give them. It took all 53 today, man. And it was in all 3 phases contributed some form of fashion. You know what I'm saying? And just talk about the ice water that Jayden Daniels had in his veins with 1:53 left on the clock, just coming off of throwing the interception the previous possession and going down and driving and then spiking the ball with 10 seconds left to throw to hit Jamison Crowder in the back of the end zone when the linebacker carried him through there. And I'm sitting there live. I'm thinking this is about to be a pick. And Jamison just comes on the other side with the catch. I mean, that's your man. I mean, talk about him.
I mean, Jayden definitely ice cold veins, man. The pick definitely, I thought, was going to flatten the mood. I thought it was going to kind of, take the wind out of us, but he didn't let that happen. He kept pushing through. When this team is in high tempo, fast paced offense, I feel like we do pretty great with that. And Jayden does a great job of getting his plays from the line, he getting people in the right position, and making great plays in those moments. So I was pretty confident that we was able to, we'll be able to get the drive. We got the ball back. But a part of me was a little worried. I was just like, I hope the rest of the team don't really get flattened from this. And that didn't happen. Even on that, like you said, on that drive, we actually ran the ball a lot more than I thought. We ran the draw, ended up getting a first down on it was like a second down play. And then, on a third down play, we end up running a dive kind of closer to the goal line. Right, I think that was right before he spiked it. So I was definitely surprised to see us run the ball there, but Cliff took his time. He was patient. And we got down there, and Jayden was able to deliver. And I mean, I keep saying it. It was just a great feeling to see it be Crowder. You know what I mean? It's just like people want to write him off because he older, but it's like, nah, this dude still is decent. He can provide you some pivotal veteran present plays, and he still got moves. He run, great route runner, always been. So it definitely was great to see. Great to see. And when I got the video, I'm gonna post it later. But after he scored, I'm standing at the top because I went to the bathroom when I came back. I'm like, I ain't feel like walking back down there. So I just stood at the top area to watch the last few plays. And I'm like, hey, Reedie. And you looking at me, and I'm like, that's my man.
I seen you.
My man.
I seen
He was
you.
like, respect.
That's your man.
Hey, give
That
a
is
man
your
his
man.
props.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Just it feels good to finally beat the Philadelphia Eagles. It's been a long time coming since we've beat these peoples. Some on the other end of some tough losses over the last few seasons, and we finally got one to even the series this year. Hopefully we don't have to see them again, but the way the playoff picture is looks like they're not going to probably catch who they're trying to catch. So we may end up having to see them in the playoffs. You might be getting your wish, Z.
Yeah. I already put that bid in. I told her, I'm like, we're gonna have to go to Philly again. If we go to Philly, we got to make a way to get to that game. So she's on board. So we're gonna figure that one out. We're gonna figure it out. But before we go a little further, let's jump in the comments real quick. We can get a lot of comments in here. Commanders Nations, Commanders taking it home, period. My team, big dub. Hell yeah, go Commanders. What does this game look like if we don't turn the ball over 5 times? I don't know. I mean, I think
probably more points on the board.
Yeah, potentially more points on the board, but also I think we kept fighting harder and harder because we knew we was hurting ourselves. And we just had that extra oomph to keep coming out there and keep trying. I got a part of me feel like, without those turnovers, we probably wouldn't have been as aggressive. Because it was a couple of times, Cliff did take some shots, which even me and Reedie was looking like, all right, it was shot is needed here, and boom, next play it was a shot downfield. The one to Terry, the one to Diami. It was definitely even the one. Well, he rolled out, and when that last Zacchaeus touchdown, we yelling like, "Throw the ball to Zacchaeus! He's open!" And he rolled out, and he was able to throw that ball in there. He was able to go down there. He broke. Shout out to Zacchaeus too. He broke like 2-3 tackles on that one. So it definitely was some big plays in there. So it was definitely good to see. Let's see. St. Juice got to be gone next year. I've been waiting for Crowder to have a game as well. St. Juice almost made me what? Oh, what? St. Juice, 2 games, 2 very costly penalties. Again, he is gone. Hope it's a minor injury for Lattimore. You can tell how the defense just plays too better. Yeah, for sure. Definitely, and people are asking us, do we have any updates on Lattimore? We don't have any as of right now. Dan Quinn said he was going to look further into it and talk about it potentially tomorrow. So we should wait and see with that.
Yeah, the last I heard when I rewatched the broadcast later in the fourth quarter, Pam Oliver, she reported it was a suspected hamstring injury. But just looking at the body language on the sideline and stuff like that, and just looking at the play when he hopped up, the last play he was in, I believe it was the first down um to Brown. He made or he stopped him. I think it was a third down or a fourth down. He stopped him and he made the tackle. He hopped up and he celebrated, and then he came off the field. And the very next play, St. G was in the play, was in the game. So it was like real subtle. So it may have happened before then, or whatever. I don't know, but just speculating. But it didn't look like it was a significant injury at that. And then De'Ami Brown is also another player that's out with a hamstring injury coming from this game. But going back to the Philadelphia Eagles, Gardner Johnson. I mean, Gardner. What's his last name? Garner.
Yeah, Gardner Johnson.
Yeah, he kind of like put himself above the team, like in a sense, like him coming out of the game kind of helped us in a sense because they went right at that safety right after that he came out of the game. He's the one that the touchdown got scored on. Like that's just crazy for them. I just crazy for them. Like I don't know why he was just so turned up, like what he was on, but he just was
running out. He was going out of his way to taunt. Like it was just weird. I don't know what that was about.
Yeah, no question. But anything else from the defense or the offense or anything you want to mention?
I mean, other areas to improve. The defensive penalties for sure. We had 6 for 93 yards. That allowed the Eagles to extend drives. So that's something that we definitely want to see the team clean up. And they also must find ways to limit the big plays and tighten up against elite rushing attacks because, like we said with Saquon, he was able to break a 69-yarder. Next week we got Bijan. That's another back that can take a 90 if he need to. You know what I mean? So he's versatile. He can catch a flare houser, he can catch a toss or dive, whatever. So we need to be able to, lock in and play like we played the second half of this game. We need to play like that all game against Bijan and the red hot Atlanta Falcons, who just made their their quarterback switch to Michael Penix. They actually won the day. What was it, like 33-7 or something like that? They smashed their opponent today. So definitely hoping that we can, 34-7. Yeah. So hoping we can, we can get in here and kind of rest and regroup. Tell the truth Mondays, even in a win, we kind of find areas to improve and make sure one of them is to stop the run for sure against Bijan Robinson, because he's another one that I'm not gonna say he scares me like Saquon, but he can definitely make some plays that'll have me a little worried.
So Michael Penix Jr. today against the New York Giants, he was 18 for 27 for 202 yards, no touchdowns, 1 interception with a quarterback rating of 73.4. Looks like most of the damage was done by Bijan Robinson. He had 24 carries for 94 yards, 2 touchdowns, along of 14 yards. And
I looked at the receivers. He spread the ball around. He had 18 completions, but he spread the ball around a lot today to his different receivers.
Yeah, he did. He had, Darnell Mooney had five catches. Drake London had 5. Ray McLeod had 3. He hit Algier. He hit Bijan for 2. Kyle Pitts had 1. That was really, mostly what they did offensively.
Their defense had 2 pick 6.
Yeah, so that's mostly where they got their points from. But I would say that's no touchdowns, but a solid outing for your first outing. No turnovers.
Mm-hmm.
Under 30 attempts. Yeah, I think it's going to be a good matchup for us to try to lock up this playoff spot this week by defeating the Atlanta Falcons in prime time
Yes,
in
sir.
Uptown Federal, 8 p.m. We'll be in the building. The tailgate's going up at 4 o'clock. E44. So if you out there, come holler at us. Come say what's up. Let's take pictures. Let's talk. Let's talk. We're gonna do a little pregame thing. Come holler at us. We're gonna be out there.
Yeah, definitely. This is the final home game of the season. Knock on wood. If we get lucky and get some type of playoff victory and can play a team that might not have a higher seed or something magically, you don't know. But for now, this is the last regular season home game. So we're going up. We're going up for sure. We haven't figured out the menu exactly, but definitely if you are attending the game and y'all rock with us, pull up on us. We some cool dudes, man. We love the love and we love to show love. So pull up on us and come see us and we can turn up together for sure.
So keys to the victory next week against the Atlanta Falcons. My key is we have to establish a running game. We have to be better with running the football. We can't allow our quarterback to, lead our team in rushing. That's just not the recipe to success. We have to do, I keep saying this over and over again. We got to do what got us here. We got to do what got us here. Jayden Daniels, he had a career day today, but I don't necessarily want to keep the running game in his hands. B Rob and company, maybe we might get Eckler back next week or get some other help. We might have to think about bringing somebody up, but we have to be able to run the football. This is December football. We have to be able to run the football down the stretch.
Yeah.
Defensively, keep playing lights out, and just keep doing what we're doing. Just taking it one game at a time. And I think that if we do that, we'll be successful, and we'll be celebrating, making the playoffs in the first year under this new regime. Adam Peters and Dan Quinn, and I think we'll be, it'll be lit going into the playoffs.
Yeah, so I say we definitely want to eliminate the turnovers. Today we had 5 turnovers, 2 being picks. B Rob had 2 fumbles and Diami had a fumble. So we want to make sure that we are securing the ball because typically 5 turnovers is a disaster and a recipe to losing. Today we were able to trump that and get the victory. But you come out again next week and do the same, it may not be the same turnout. So we got to make sure that we shore up those turnovers offensively, and I would say defensively we got to make sure that we get pressure on Penix. The more that we pressure him and make him uncomfortable, he's continued to kind of grow and figure out the pace of the NFL. So we got to take advantage of that. Put pressure on him, make him overthink a little bit, disguise some stuff. But we got to make sure the defense shows up. And I think Joe Witt will surely dial something up against him. But overall, I think as long as we play hard and aggressive on all, offensive, defensively, and special teams, like Dan Quinn says, it takes everybody in the building, it takes everybody on the team to do their job. And if we do that, we'll be victorious for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And we will be live tomorrow at 2 p.m. for our Monday Command episode. So tune in for that one. We're going to publish it so you guys can see it on Instagram and on Facebook and YouTube. Tune in tomorrow. We got a special guest tomorrow. So yeah, tune in for that. Anything else, bro?
Yeah, nah, that's it for now. We'll dig deeper into, some things after we rewatch the game and kind of see some of the schemes that, Cliff dialed up and everything, and see kind of what, Joe Witt was, the changes that he did make. We're gonna dive deeper into things for tomorrow. And like we said, we got a special guest tomorrow, so looking excited for that. Always open and welcome to get a third or fourth person on to kind of, talk different points of views and conversations and things of that nature. So if you are a podcast host or, you out here and you have your own show or you got your thing going on, definitely hit us up in a DM. We always looking to collab with, other podcasters in the community. So other than that, that's it. That's it. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe at Reedie Zee on all platforms. Like, share, subscribe as Reedie Zee on all platforms. Follow our sponsors, great clothing line, Saray's Catering and KB3 Events. And without further ado, we will see you guys tomorrow at 2 p.m.